Up and up. Oh. Oh. That's just scary music. It's not really meant to be Halloweenish. It's a bit late for that. Hello! Hey, 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 hey! Oh, very scary. I'll still keep the drone in. But my name is Quinlan. Welcome to Melbourne Musos Facebook Live. And here we are. I'm going to talk about a few things today. There's a bit of a sequel to last week's show. Actually, I'm going to take that out, actually. Come on, boys. Hello. There we go. We'll do that. There we are. Hey! I'll come back to you. Anyway, there you are. So what it is this is a bit of a sequel to last week's show, which was about music concrete. And this is about... I have a scale that I'm going to talk about, so I'm going to do a bit of harmony tonight. But tonight... I'm going to talk about found sounds. And diminished scales, of which this is the half diminished. Whoa. Hello. There you are. So, I'll get stuck straight into it. Okay, so what it is what shall I start with? I'll start with found sounds. Okay, so what it is found sounds is just something. I remember when I used to teach at the Footscray Community Arts Centre way back in the 80s, I gave them a cheerio with a few weeks ago with the terrible rains and stuff and Maribyrnong River flooding in all sorts of business. But next door, back in the 80s, next door was this kind of metal tip. It was like a junkyard kind of thing, but it was all metal. And I was right into, I mentioned a chap by the name of Ron Nagorka, who was the artist in residence back in the day, the Footscray Arts Centre. I was part of his ensemble. And that was part of the music concrete and found sounds and everything like that. And what I did was I rigged myself up a frame behind my drum kit back in the day, and I put hubcaps on it. I found hubcaps and old bits of pipe, and I'd hit them and it went doing, and I got another piece of pipe and it went bing, like that, and I'd go boing, bing, boing. I do things like, I'm a bit of a terror at Bunnings, so you might have hi-hats. Put that on, fall off the cliff. But some of the things that we all see, I'm talking about pipe. Who sees the people go out and get the glasses and play a tune on glasses, and they get the water in so they can alter the tuning to whatever they want. You can have tin, like I said. There's a wonderful wonderful chap by the name of Peter Neville, who's if you're out there, Peter, and we used to play a lot of Frank Zappa music together. He's part of Elysian, and wonderful tuned percussionist, and he has a whole room of found stuff. He can create thunder when needed for whatever ensembles he's with this old, I think it was a Shell petrol station sign with the thin tin, and he could wobble it, and it would go, which is an old Hollywood effect sort of thing. When you want thunder coming from outside, you had dudes going wobble, 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 like that. And that's one of the things. One of the other things you can have, you've even seen it with Crocodile Dundee, the bull roarer. You go like that on a bit of string. Like that. It's even on a Midnight Oil clip. That's called a bull roarer. So these are found sound. I find new sounds all the time with Doris here. Even to the point where you put rivets in cymbals. Now, once again, someone tried that once. Someone went, how about we get a bit of a rattle and then do it like that? You know, sort of. So this particular cymbal here has got 3 rivets in it. Found sound is a trash effect by putting 2 crashes on top of each other, just like that. Tonic is an A. There you go. Now I'll go over to the harmonic side. What you're listening to is a half diminished scale. And I'll talk to you about that. A half diminished scale. You've got 2 types of diminished scales generally. What happens is when you're talking about tones and semitones, and if your guitarist out there, a semitone is 1 fret and a tone is 2 frets, there's 2 main types of diminished scales. You can have a whole half or a half whole. So what happens is that you go up and it's like half a step. So it'd like be an E to an F. Okay, then you go a whole step, and G to a G sharp or an A flat, depending on how you want to work it. And it's like half whole, half whole, half whole, half whole. There you go. And it sort of gives you that's what. And there you have that, you see. And then you can have the other way around, which is whole half. You see, whole half, whole half, whole half, all the way. Now we call these symmetrical scales because of the design of them. And a symmetrical scale essentially can only have 2. You can have, if we were going to have, if I do it with classical theory and start on C, which we all do with theory, you can have a C diminished or a C sharp diminished. Every other note after that will be, because of its symmetrical nature, will be its own tonic, you see. So if you go from C to D, it would be, and do the scale, you could also call it a D diminished, you see, and all that stuff. And I hope you're with me on that. Go check it out. You can do the Siri business and check me out. Make sure I'm all correct. And what happened is that what you have is that when you're dealing with these kinds of things, it gives you beautiful effects, you see. Now, so you've got two main types. You've got the whole half and the half whole. And if I was going to give you the by the book theoretical steps, a whole half is the first, the second, the flat third, the fourth, the flat fifth, the sharp fifth, the sixth, the seventh, and the octave. If you have a half whole, you would have, I'm doing this because I'm going to put it there later on. There you go, on this camera here. Hello, and hello, and hello. There you go. So what we have, half whole, is first, flat second, flat third, third, sharp 4, 5, 6, flat 7, octave. There you go. Dramatic. Mysterioso. You know what I thought I was going to do tonight? For about 5 seconds, I'm going to do some poetry with drumming, like I was doing a few years ago during lockdowns 1 and 2. And I thought this is perfect music for Edgar Allan Poe. Rap, 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 rap. The raven knocking at my door. Yeah, hi Raven, here you go. Yeah, g'day mate, here you go. You got the cricket on? The raven. But I've already done it. So what I'll do instead is go into a secondary thing. Because when I was doing this, I was preparing the show today, just having a play and saying, okay, here we go. It is a drum show, so double paradiddle. Right, left, right, no. Right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, left. Para, paradiddle, para, paradiddle. Must play your paradiddles every day, every night. Oh, where's this going? Normal places. Now, when you're doing things like that, it's a gradual crescendo. And then what starts to happen is that you can do little short, sharp little things, right? Sharp rises and descents. Some of the people that does this kind of thing, there's a style of music called, what's a type of effect called Pointillism. And Pointillism, where you're doing sharp. People who do this is people like Mike Patton, most famous for being the singer for Faith No More, but he has a Ipecac Records. And a band I love very much. Wish they'd get back together. I think they will, maybe. Fantomas. I think on their first album, I don't know the exact number, but it was more than 40 tracks. Lots of little short, sharp little things. And their one of their albums, Delirium Corner, was music written for open heart surgery. The macabre. But who started all this off? Anton Webern. And Anton Webern was in the school of Pointillism and things like that. He was in the school of Arnold Schoenberg with his the 12-note system. And the 12-note row, you've got to go through the whole chromatic scale in whatever order you want. There's you have your chromatic scale, every note, and then you put it in a certain order, and then you work it, that kind of thing. And Anton Webern was very famous for very short, sharp. The flutes did that, the trumpets did that. And there's a term called hocketing, where you might take a melody and you chop it up into bits and you put the bits all in different places. So it's like start, finish, start, finish, start, finish with the orchestra. And that's Anton Webern. He's Arnold Schoenberg was his teacher, and his contemporary was Webern Berg. Who was also, of course, in the Arnold Schoenberg school. He was a lot more lyrical, to the point where he has one called Lyric Suite. That's what happened there. Threshold there. See if I get up. Watch. Here it comes. There it is. Round about there. So, what we have is when you're sitting down and trying to work out something, scary. I see scales like colour. slow creeping accelerando. Crescendo. Let me go over what I'm talking about. Found sounds. You can go to Bunnings and have a ball. You can get bits of tin from the tin yard. You can put cymbals together. Give them a short sharp. Off the cliff sound. And bells, rims. There was a chap by the name of Barry Elshall. Hope he's still with us. New York loft drummer. Played with Anthony Braxton and Chick Corea. You go to a lesson with him during the avant-garde, and he would say, give me 50 sounds from the snare. Frank Zappa would sample different things. Him going all the time. I'll put everything back. They're the angels singing again. One of the other things you can do is when you're trying to hold an ostinato here, this is why we use the practice pad. This is all right, left, left. Double stroke, roll, and now, if this is too weird for you, what I'll get you to do later on tonight, if you're not out of gigging, watch a thriller, watch some horror show. Some of you might think this is a horror show. Trying to run away from the polka dot, or is it poltergeist? Let me go over what I've gone on about tonight. Found sounds. It's a bit of a sequel to last week's Music Concrete, used by people like the Beatles and many other famous people. It's not as weird as you think when you start listening to Sgt. Pepper's Number 9, Pink Floyd, and this is a sequel, brings a certain kind of scale tonight. a symmetrical scale. In this particular one, I've used a half diminished. But you can also have just a normal diminished. I'm giving you the tones. It's used a lot in jazz. I'm using the dramatic kind of sound there. And on sideways notes, because it is a kind of a drum show after all. When you're doing this kind of material, even, like a dozen years ago when I started with the triggers, I really had to, you're going to have to, make sure of your chops. Long rolls, a double stroke, being able to move them around. That's it. Oh, I hope you enjoyed what I was going on about here. Go and check out Anton Webern, as weird as they get. Webern and Berg, his violin concerto is a very famous one. And also things like the Lulu Suite, Metallica. Lou Reed wanted to fight them. I had to listen to it. I'm going, whoa, that was brave. Lulu, that's a famous German kind of story. And here we are with lots of found sounds. I haven't even mentioned John Cage with his found sounds and prepared piano, but I've done a whole show on him. So there you go. And that's what goes on. So it's a music concrete last week, found sounds, symmetrical scales tonight, pointillism. And when you start talking about Mike Patton with Faith No More, Fantomas, all his other projects, he's crazy busy. He's a workaholic, really. And what it is you know that it's not as weird as you might think. As soon as you put a horror film to it, that kind of thing. This is exactly what this stuff is. There you go. So there you go. And I'll love and leave you. Take care. Hey, I'll have this up tomorrow. Hey, we're off.